Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Episode 4 and Episode 5 of Digimon Ghost Game. Now, Episode 4 is a Halloween special, and it sort of opens with Ruri sort of decorating her school, I think, for Halloween, and they needed more help, so she called up Hiro, and he comes to help. And sort of as they're decorating, um, kids are going missing. They're being kidnapped by Pumpkinmon and some other Digimon working with him. This is probably the weakest episode of the 5 so far. We have Pumpkinmon feels like too much of a retread of Mummymon, but less interesting. With the Mummymon episode, I didn't really, maybe I was just stupid, but I didn't really catch on until towards the end that, Mummymon was just trying to be a doctor using ancient Egyptian methods that he thought were current, and he wasn't a villain. Right off the bat, we have Pumpkinmon talking about how he's going to make them his friends as he kidnaps them. And I feel like I've seen this episode a million times before. So yeah, it was just okay. This episode was at its best when it was just doing exposition and sort of giving us more information on like the digivices in the digital world. Hiro sits down with Angoromon and just has him sort of answer some questions about the digital world, like what is it, what are Digimon, and things like that. And they're sort of your standard, like Digimon are born from a computer virus or something like that. Nothing too special there. But Hiro continues to be proactive. He's searching for this. He's asking Digimon about this, trying to figure it out, which is good. And we also get a little bit of information about some like different functions of the Digivice of this season. In the beginning, Hiro clicks a button and it sort of takes him to the like digital space where he talked to his father that one in episode 1. So now we have a way to get back and forth from there, and if you go to like the digital space, the evil Digimon are no longer holograms; they're just like fully formed, as well as damage caused there doesn't reflect in the real world. So they start going there to fight, right? So that way, if they cause damage to buildings or anything like that, it's not affected. And of course, people aren't in that space, so they don't have to worry about hurting people either. Another function we get is the ability to make their Digimon partners invisible. So that'll be helpful, I assume, later on too. But that's episode 4. It's not the best. Pumpkinmon is like the first Digimon that really disappears. Clockmon, Dracomon, not Dracomon, Dracumon, whatever. They take off and they're set up to come back. Mummymon left to go learn about medicine at a hospital. Pumpkinmon they become friends with, and then he's just gone. And then Hiro says like something along the lines of, "I'm sure we'll see them again next year." So next Halloween, Pumpkinmon will appear, but I assume we won't get that far with this anime. I don't think this one will be a 60-something episode like the Adventure reboot was. So we'll probably never see Pumpkinmon again. Episode 5. This one is all about Kyoshiro, and he finally gets Jellymon, and it's a chaotic episode, but Kyoshiro and Jellymon's sort of dynamic is just really fun. So Kyoshiro has essentially been haunted by Jellymon since the beginning, presumably, and that's why he keeps like wearing all those charms, and he keeps asking Hiro about like ghosts and stuff. And this episode, towards the beginning, Jellymon had apparently gone into Hiro's room, taken his last Digivice that he had there, and basically forced it on Kyoshiro and forced him to materialize her, which is really fun. And like throughout the episode, it's just constantly her like bullying him, and it's fun. Their dynamic is fun. We'll see how long it can last. I don't know if it will get grating at all, but right now it's fun, and they're probably my favorite pair of the show. Anyway, so Kyoshiro was afraid of the ghosts, right? He was being haunted. So he tried to use charms, which did not work. So he is apparently like an incredibly smart, like, computer guy. So he can like hack and things like that. So he's your sort of standard computer genius. Um, he went to America, got a master's degree at 13, I think they said, uh, but eventually decided to come back to Japan because while he was over in America, he was a big anime and manga fan, and he wanted to live like a sort of Japanese school life, which is fun. Um, and so when his charms were no longer working, he decided to make digital charms. Now, this is the part where it sort of gets weird. I don't think you can make digital charms, but they don't really dwell on that. Um, and I guess they weren't really working. They were just sort of alarms, I guess. Um, but anyway, Jellymon had messed with the digital charms that he had programmed to then make them, I guess, steal money. I don't know if she was stealing money or if she was just shutting down the flow of money. Um, but this causes a Digimon who is like, I think they just describe him as the god of wealth. So his job is to protect the flow of wealth. And so since Kyoshiro and Jellymon had messed that up, he's here to stop them. And the whole episode is basically just in Kyoshiro's room with this big dragon Digimon whose name I don't remember, and I don't know if I have ever seen in an anime before. If I have, I don't recall him. Basically coming to them and trying to basically kill them for messing around with the flow of money. Um, and yeah, it's good. We got a villain who's not really a villain, right? And not in the same way as Mummymon or Pumpkinmon. He is not a villain in that he is just here to restore the flow of wealth. And at the end of the episode, once Kyoshiro basically destroys all of his digital charms, fixes everything, begs for forgiveness, he's like, all right, that's fine, and then he leaves. He's not a villain, he's just here to restore the order of things, which is good. It, like, I was afraid during episode 4 that it was just going to go back and forth between, all right, here's a villain Digimon, okay, here's just a misunderstood Digimon, and we were just going to go back and forth between those two for a while. But episode 5 is just completely different, and it's great. And he also has, like, some henchmen Digimon that are helping him, which I think were all armor evolutions. I know Bitmon is, and I think Goatmon is too. I don't know about the snake with wings, whose name I also don't remember. And also, they're way stronger. Like, Hero evolves Gamamon into, what is it, Betel Gamamon. And, like, we see him Digivolve, use his move. It cuts to Kyoshiro and Jellymon trying to shut things down. And then it cuts back and, like, Betel Gamamon's just done. He's tied up. They've been stopped. Like, they didn't stand a chance. And yeah, and this is just sort of an episode where, like, we get a bit of growth with Jellymon, where at first she's just picking on him because it's funny, and then basically, this is another thing. The dorm is about to be destroyed. And Kyoshiro decides, I'm the dorm leader, I can't let that happen. But they don't explain it like that, right? It felt more like, basically Hiro convinced him, like, you're the dorm leader, you have to stop him. And it was less about protecting the dorm, which I feel like if they had just said, if you don't stop him, the dorm that you're the head of will be destroyed. So I wish they would have maybe gone with that instead, because him just suddenly deciding, no, I have to stop things, was a bit iffy. But Jellymon respects that eventually, and they work together, and it's fun. Yeah, it was a good episode. So far, only Hero has Digivolved. Gamamon's the only one that's Digivolved. And also, there haven't been a lot of fights. Like, Mummymon and Pumpkinmon, their fights were basically just Betel Gamamon hits them with his attack, that's it. It's over. In Mummimon's case, he wasn't even affected, and Hero just sort of stepped in and got his attention and talked him down. with Pumpkinmon, he is a weird scarecrow pumpkin thing. So one fire attack, he was basically on fire and he was freaking out. And so we haven't really gotten any fights. So I'm hoping we get some more action soon. But so far, I'm still really liking the show. Episode 4 was the weakest, but not terrible. I still enjoyed it for what it was. And yeah, this has just been a really good, strong start to a Digimon show. We've got the whole cast so far. I assume later on there will be a 4th tamer with a new Digimon. And I kind of hope that it might be Dracumon. That would be cool. But yeah, I don't know. So far, this episode's great. Or not this episode. This show is really good. And I'm looking forward to continuing on. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.